Welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about a protocol called Seaport. Now, what the hell is Seaport Protocol? As you can see, OpenSea made an article back in 2022 discussing Seaport Protocol. And to put it short, Seaport is basically the uh, marketplace NFT contracts that OpenSea uses on its main website. Now, Seaport is not just one contract. So if you read through, let's just see what we can do. The core contract is open source and inherently decentralized with no contract owner, upgradability, or other special privileges. This is actually quite important to note because if a smart contract is upgradable, you can actually do things that are against the original ethos of decentralization. Like you can push changes that aren't desirable for your users, and since it's not upgradable, the users will know exactly what they're in for. Like there's no rug pulls, there's no like shady stuff that could happen. So I think that's a very good thing. Okay, let's read through. So most NFT marketplaces only allow listings where one party agrees to supply an NFT and the other one agrees to supply a payment token. Now, Seaport takes a different approach. Offerers can agree to supply a number of Ethereum ERC20 1701 1155. This is the offer. In order for that offer to be accepted, a number of items must be received by the recipients indicated by the offerer. This is the consideration. So this is saying that like there's sort of an escrow account involved. So a number of items must be received by the recipients indicated by the offerer. Every Seaport listing consists of the same basic structure, including an improved signature payload that clearly outlines what can be spent and what will be received back by whom. However, there are a number of different ways that the fulfiller can choose to have listings fulfilled. The most straightforward fulfillment option involves choosing a specific listing and creating an implied mirror of that listing, where the fulfiller receives all offer items and supplies all consideration items. So what this is saying here, it mentions EIP 712, and if you're not familiar with this, signatures are a way to verify that somebody has signed something. So kind of like in traditional finance, you have to sign a contract, right? And that proves that you are the one who signed that contract because it's in your signature. Same concept for cryptocurrencies and NFTs. So this was a EIP, so Ethereum Improvement Proposal, that was proposed back in 2017, a long time now. And these signatures are completely free. So compared to a typical approval, like an approval is a transaction. So you have to approve OpenSea, for example, to use to have access to your NFTs, and then you have to sign it. Now the approval cost gas, aka real money, whereas the signature does not. So let's go back through the most straightforward mirroring. Where was I? Seaport also allows the option to fulfill any number of listings at once through a set of fulfillments. I'll make this a bit bigger in case it's too small. I'm on the big screen, just so you guys know. Where was I? Oh yeah. As long as each consideration item on each listing is fully credited after all fulfillments have been applied, the offerers can leverage the coincidence of once and complete transfers. Anyone can create new zones or deploy new conduits. A zone is an account, usually a contract, that performs additional validation prior to fulfillment, and it can cancel the listing on behalf of the offerer. So it sounds like a proxy, some sort of middleman contract. And a conduit is a contract where offerers set token approvals. Okay, so I just mentioned approvals. So that means that you're going to have to pay a gas fee for the conduit smart contract to spend your tokens on your behalf. The owner of the conduit can add and remove channels for the conduit, and registered channels can instruct the conduit on how to transfer tokens. Right. These two concepts enable extensibility and upgradability in a fully opt-in fashion, giving creators, collectors, and platforms additional ability to make their own choices regarding how they utilize Seaport while maintaining broad composability with other listings. Okay, really cool. So what this means is instead of allowing everything on OpenSea, not OpenSea, everything on Seaport, like all the aggregators, all the other marketplaces or whatever from having access. This conduit is like, well, conduit just means channel. Like it's weird. A conduit is just a channel. Imagine you walk into a restaurant. You don't want to order everything from the menu, right? You want to order what you want, which is probably like three things, four things, five things if you're really hungry, right? And so a conduit in this sense is the waiter that will deliver what you asked for, what you've approved the restaurant to give you. Each item on the listing can also optionally specify that some criteria be met in place of acquiring a specific token ID. Okay, enabling collection level and trait level offers. Oh, really? That's cool. You can basically select what specific traits you want in place of token ID. So like if I didn't care about the token ID, but I only want to bid for NFTs that have specific traits. That's how I could do that. Okay, that's awesome. To the left here, I have installed the repository for Seaport. So go over here. So if you just drag this diagram here into the browser, you're gonna get this diagram. And this is actually how Seaport works. So when somebody makes an order on Seaport, there's an offer item and a consideration item. So this is the buyer and this is the seller, right? In order for the offer to be accepted, a number of items must be received by the recipients indicated by the offerer. This is the consideration. So the consideration, uh, it has an item type property, a token address, identifier or criteria, start, end, amount, and the recipient. And this is an array. Does that mean that you can have multiple uh sellers, or is this like multiple items or multiple something or multiple listings or multiple prices or something? Maybe it's multiple prices. And these are multiple offers for sure. Order type, full, partial, full restricted, and partial restricted. I'm going to assume a full open order is just an order that's completely new and has no, uh, like, it's not partially filled, it's just like fresh. And a partial order, partial open, it's just an order that's been partially filled as it defined in this document here. And then these two are the same thing, but for a zone. And a zone, let me go back, is an account that performs additional validation prior to fulfillment. So before that order actually goes through, so let's say I've got a Bored Ape and I want to sell it for 100 ETH. I know they're not worth 100 ETH right now, probably worth nothing now. But I want to make sure there's some validation before it actually sells. Maybe like I only sell to people who have a certain amount of ETH in their wallet. Now I don't know if that's correct or not, but that's what I mean by that's what it means by validation. And there has to be some sort of check to make sure that this address or this user or this offer is what I asked for. So the order itself has obviously the offer, considerations, for signature, order type, start time, end time, counter, salt, conduit key, zone, zone hash. Basic order, fulfill a conduit key. Advanced order, fulfill a conduit key, numerator, denominator, extra data, and the interface. So fulfill order, match order, cancel order, validate, increment. Okay. Acceleration. So this is the main interface here. So this router looks like it's gonna route all incoming requests. Uh, let's just go through it. Fulfill available advanced orders, receive entrancy guards, protect against re-entrancy attacks, get allowed seaport contracts. Cool. And then we have this order combiner, fulfillment, order fulfiller, amount deriver, like all these steps here. So this is how much work goes into OpenSea's protocol. Like this is a lot, but this is what's needed to make sure that there's a consistent, safe, decentralized end-to-end experience. Cool. So that's all I wanted to do really. Just talk about Seaport. Really interested in how it works. I'm actually going to deep dive into it and try and make my own custom marketplace so that more people can actually start to build their own marketplaces, because I want to learn more about Seaport, and I'm sure a lot of people do, but there's not enough resources. There's not enough resources out there to enable people to do that. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you soon.